The Grand Tournament has its share of good cards, bad cards, and a few we'll have to wait and see how much they affect the current meta. But today, we're going to take a look at what we think are 10 of the best cards coming to the Grand Tournament. Kicking us off in 10th place is Holy Champion. This is a Light Warden with some serious improvements. There is the potential for Light Wardens to get insane damage in Priest decks with combos like Wild Pyromancer and Circle of Healing, but with its weak stat line, it was too easily removed. The Holy Champion offers the same effect, but on a 3/5, and that's a lot harder to remove. It looks like Priests might have just gotten their own Frothing Berserker. The number 9 spot belongs to Druid of the Saber. A 2-mana 2/1 with charge or a 2-mana 3/2 with stealth, this card offers some great flexibility as both versions are beasts. It helps open the possibility for Druid beast decks becoming viable. As with a beast in stealth, you have something on the board for Druid of the Fang to get its Battlecry effect from. In 8th place is the new warrior spell Bash. Not the most exciting card, but this will almost certainly become commonly used in control decks. It likely won't fit into Patron Warrior as it doesn't provide card draw, but when you compare it to Warlock's Drain Life, you can start to see how good Bash is. First, it's the same cost, but does 1 more damage, meaning it deals with a number of popular 3 health minions. It also gives 3 armor rather than 2 health, meaning none of it is wasted if you're already at max life. In at number 7 is the Fencing Coach. This 3-mana minion is low on stats for the cost at 2 health and 2 attack, but its Battlecry completely opens the Inspire mechanic for a lot of cards. The next time you use your hero power after playing the Fencing Coach, it costs 0. So you can play him and bank the effect for later. When you play a powerful inspired card, you will instantly get the effect. Imagine this in combination with Confessor Paeltress on turn 7. This card alone has made so many inspired cards that were previously hard to find effective uses for more viable in top-level competitive play. 6th place is taken by the new mage legendary Ronin. An 8-mana 7/7, when he dies you add 3 arcane missiles to your hand. So at base level, it's a reasonable body on the board. But it's also a mage card, so you have to factor the ability that the arcane missiles can combo with Archmage Antonidas, Flamewalkers, or even Malagos, for potentially a 24 damage AoE. It's a cool card that adds to the mage late game and fits nicely with other popular mage cards. We're halfway through our list, and taking over at number 5 is Healing Wave. It guarantees you 7 health recovery upon use, but on a successful joust, it doubles that to 14. This card opens up the potential for late-game Shaman decks to become very competitive. In its worst case, it's a slightly weaker healing touch, but with luck on your side, its insane healing power can be the wave you ride to victory. In 4th place is Adis Darkbane. Adis and her twin sister Jola Lightbane will likely both be run at the same time. They don't need each other to be effective, but they both work in the same types of decks. Adis is clearly the better of the two. When you target her with a spell, she deals 3 damage to a random enemy character. Jola helps to put Adis so high on the list as she will fit in similar decks, meaning if you don't draw Adis early on, hopefully you'll at least get Jola. They will work great in a number of decks, but in particular, Priests and Paladins stand out as having some great potential with their cheap buff spells to help keep the sisters on the board longer, and any decks that draw lots of spare part cards also see some potential. In 3rd place, we have the Totem Golem. A 2-mana 3/4 is huge. I'm sure we'll be seeing this in almost every single Shaman deck. It completely deals with your opponent's 2-drop and then most likely deals with their 3-drop, giving it amazing value. Also, being a totem, it gains some synergy from other cards like Tuskar Totemic and buffs like Totemic Might, which turns it into a 3/6 with a 0-cost spell. Just missing out on the top spot is the new warrior legendary Varian Wrynn. Being the only new minion to cost 10 mana since Hearthstone's launch, you know its effect has to be something special. When played, Wrynn will draw you 3 cards. Any of those that are minions will instantly be placed onto the battlefield. Seeing as this card fits into Control Warrior, which runs things like Rag, Ysera, and Guramash, there is some serious potential for some crazy moments when this hits the board. And our number 1 card announced is Darnassus, Aspirant for the Druid. A 2-mana, 2/3, it grants you an empty mana crystal when you play him, but when he dies, he destroys one. So it's a wild growth that lasts as long as the minion does. What's exciting about this card is where wild growth can be a little slow when facing aggro decks, this card gives you some board presence in the early game and potential for a strong following turn when played on curve, giving you insane tempo advantage. It's almost certainly going to be turning up in ramp decks, most likely alongside Wild Growth and Innervate to make them more reliable, and much like Totem Golem, it could very much become an auto-include for this class. This card is also a great counter to Mirror Entity, a spell that previous druids would have a little trouble with. And with it being a 2-drop, players running Piloted Shredder may be losing a mana crystal if this drops for them, as they will not be gaining Darnassus' Battlecry. What are your favorite cards coming to the Grand Tournament, and what do you think is going to be the best deck once the expansion comes out? Let us know in the comments below. Till next time, enjoy the game.